Through this video, I am sharing one of the important disasters that happened in the last 2 days is at Wayanad in Kerala, where several factors, say human, climate change, the local geological aspects, or the existing natural resources such as forests. So it's a situation that led to this devastating floods and causing loss, both the human as well as assets and infrastructure and everything. That is in the early hours of July 30th. So the rain started on 29th July, whole night, and at Wayanad, that is one of the Kerala's most scenic places where many tourists visit. There this disaster happened. Here both the flooding of water and landslides were responsible for the current situation where we are seeing the villages getting impacted and houses got buried and more than 150 people died as per the current reports, and it could even increase, and we have many injured people or missing people. So the relief and rescue work is going on, and hope the tragedy is limited and we could at least save those who are trapped in this situation. And here if we delve into the causes, as I said, both human and climatic factors are responsible, and also this unique geology and geomorphology of the Western Ghats, where the hydrological characteristics also had an impact here. If you see this, Wayanad is located on the southern part of the Deccan Plateau in the Western Ghats. It has a complex geological formations where we have underlying rock strata predominantly composed of ancient crystalline rocks like charnockite and granite gneiss, and over that we have soil, and over a millennia due to weathering process, the burden that consists of the weathered rocks, everything that gets weakened or breaks down under the pressure of heavy rainfall, then it causes the landslides. Especially in the Wayanad area, the slopes are very steep, and we have valleys, deep valleys. These are vulnerable to landslides, and we have most of the slopes exceeding 20 degrees in this district, and we have the loose topsoil, and all these are the vulnerable situations existing. And the hydrology, if you see, there are many streams, rivers in this area, and they play an important role, especially in the drainaging of monsoon rains. But during the monsoon, these water bodies swell, and increased water flow can saturate the soil and bedrock, further destabilizing slopes and triggering landslides. The region's high drainage density also, it's a means that disrupted the water flow and causing this significant erosion and soil displacement, causing the landslides. If you see the soil, predominantly it is lateritic, which has a characteristic of high porosity but low cohesion, making it highly susceptible to erosion. And the rainfall exacerbates the soil erosion, especially on the steep slopes, and it would destabilize the land. Apart from that, the Wayanad is having a very rich biodiversity with extensive forests covering much of the district. These forests play an important role in stabilizing the soil and reducing the risk of landslides. However, the current situation, if we see the the deforestation that is happening, or the conversion of forests into agriculture land over years, the plantations, the tea estates are here, and many other infrastructure development including housing, roads, communications. So all these disrupted these protected areas, and the deep rooted trees which anchor the soil, that is also most important. Their loss is leading to vulnerability in this area. Although the Kerala is green, but these pockets of this vegetation loss or conversion of lands, and with extreme weather events, we have this situation now. The human causes are very much relevant here. The rapid and unplanned expansion of infrastructure in vulnerable areas, often on steep slopes, disturbs the natural drainage systems, destabilizes the already fragile soil, and increases the risk of landslides. So, I think the local government agencies which permit without any control or regulations in this fragile ecosystem, they should also take some responsibility in the current situation. Apart from all this, climate change is an important factor where the risks related to the high rainfall are increasing, and Kerala or any other part of India is also no exception in this regard. Some situations like the warmer temperatures in the Arabian Sea have led to the formation of these towering cumulonimbus clouds, resulting in sudden and intense downpours. The heavy rainfall quickly saturates the already loose soil, and that is triggered the landslides and floods. So both climatic and geological factors makes Wayanad particularly susceptible to such disasters. And another factor such as where I have observed even in the Uttarakhand area, when landslides happen, the temporary dams are created in the streams. So the water gets accumulated behind that, and suddenly it breaches, and sometimes the drainage takes a different path. So these unexpected things which people have not experienced in the past, if they see suddenly happening in such situations, then they don't have plan B to escape or to protect themselves or to mitigate even in their earlier whatever constructions they have done. So these things are unexpected situations. So such things also happened here. And Kerala, I think in August 2018, a major flood happened in Kerala, and more than 500 lives were lost. Where I have visited immediately after the floods for an assessment of the impact and the very high intensely impacted areas. So I have seen the disaster destruction there it caused. The government is very much aware of all these things, and if you see other states in India, I think Kerala is repeatedly, even in 2019 also in Wayanad, we have seen the floods again. So there is a lot to learn from the past. So here, after that, whatever the measures that government has taken, of course, the 2018 floods are basically that is related to flood in Wayanad. It is related to landslides. Most of the impacts. Otherwise, if you see the total rainfall in Kerala as of now, that is not so high. Only normal rainfall we are seeing in this monsoon season, say from June 1st till 31st July. Even in Wayanad also it is not so much. But the incessant rains, the heavy rains that happened, they say around nearly 150 mm rainfall happened in some parts of this Wayanad district in 24 hours. So this kind of sudden downpour is the concern. So in this climate change, we see such extreme events actually, and variability also we see. Means instead of this spread of the rains evenly, sometimes the rains don't occur, and suddenly during other time they occur very intensely. So total rainfall is not the matter, but ultimately this intensities also matter. So this is also a climate change factor. Here, lots of mitigation measures need to be brought into right from the soil conservation practices and reforestation, afforestation, protection, and the terracing. All these things are required, and mitigation measures is one thing where ecosystem restoration. There is a movement for the conservation of Western Ghats since very long, but the density of population in Kerala or the demands from the people, and all these are other concerns. And here I think the native species will definitely help in any geographical area. The plantations and other commercial activities they also sometimes destabilize the areas. The construction is another big factor. I think even if they are permitted to stay in such areas, the kind of buildings they would construct and the distance from the streams. Like in Uttarakhand, I had been part of one case where how far the hotels or buildings should come from the middle of the river. So this was the case. There are umpteen examples where people have encroached very close onto the riverbed areas also, and we have to honor and respect those areas. Only then such disasters don't happen. And with this climate change as it continues and weather patterns they change, the community resilience, the civil defense mechanisms, the training that need to be provided. Apart from that, we should have this automatic weather station density increased, early warning systems or warning systems need to be in place. NDRF is a limited force, although they do their best in such cases. But this should become because recently I had been to Gokarna. We are not having any information, just like as tourists we had been there, but it downpoured so much that night we could not find a way to reach our hotel. So there is no mechanism to alert in any way. So the very next day when you see the news, already so much destruction happened, and even if we had gone beyond although we halted at one place, taken shelter in another place. So it would have been one more disaster in my personal life also. So this, I think, everybody is vulnerable. It is not about him. Especially if you see Kedarnath instant, the floods that happened there. So it is not the people who died in just flood alone, but the people who were on the mountains or the hills, they also died. They could not survive that cold, chill, and the kind of conditions in the night. So before they were rescued, some people died. So I think this life saving, all the skills, disaster preparedness, community based disaster management, and adaptation and mitigation measures. I think everything we need to uh, make as a strategy, and right from the education at school level, college level, I think this thing should be incorporated. Only then we'll definitely will overcome these kind of situations and lessen the impacts.